Hello, boys and girls. I'm back after a bit of travel. I was not here a few days, but I brought some of the source code with me, and couldn't do really much, unfortunately, because the evenings I didn't have a lot of time. But I did some anyway. I did some. I hope I could do more, but I did anyway some, so a lot's way. I called the stream putting the pieces together, right? But I think we are not yet there. Maybe we'll reach it tonight, I don't know, but there is still quite some stuff to do. I can summarize what we are doing just for the people that maybe didn't see it yet. So, yeah, so our mission at the moment is to ensure that we are loading properly the brain of an NPC from the database. And this brain will contain, at a minimum, obviously it can have more, but at the minimum will contain the time of the day event. So something like at 2 p.m. you have to do this, and at 5 p.m. you have to do that. Right? So that is our mission, and based on that it will move to a predefined location. So to a waypoint that is defined, is also defined in the database. So this is our mission. Unfortunately, this mission is putting together so many pieces. It's putting together a lot of pieces because there is the waypoint system, there is the time or weather system, there is the movement system, and there is the NPC brain. And the NPC brain by itself is a system of systems. So there is quite a lot behind this simple mission. And this is why we are working on it already since quite some time, but I think we are making good progress. In particular, if you see down here, these are all the pieces that are required for our mission to be accomplished. And you see on the right side the source files that are related to that, and to the left the let's say the main task or main operation, main areas. Okay, so this is what we are doing now. Of these pieces we migrated quite a bit. Some of these are okay, like perceptions, like waypoints. I mean, these pieces are, I think, green. We can say they are green. The big pieces that I'm missing are basically 3 pieces. And let me maybe highlight them in some color. So this is one of the guys that is still under work. There is another one that is, let's say, maybe it's not red, but it's kind of yellow. So we did a lot of work on it, but it's still not completed. And the other guy is this one. So these 3 ones in red color are the ones that we still need to do quite some work on. And yeah, again, I made progress, but still there is quite some stuff to do. All these source files are anyway coming from our old PlanShift game. So it's not that I'm reinventing something, it's just that I am porting some of that code. Now, how are these pieces connected? Well, these pieces are connected kind of this way. So in the old system we had 2 separate servers, one to manage the world and the players, and one to manage the NPCs, so the artificial intelligence. The one here at the bottom is the one that we were using to manage the artificial intelligence, which was called NPC client, right? It's called NPC client because by itself it was a client connecting to the server as well, just with the say a super privileges, so with like a super user, so it could do much more than any other player, like yes, managing NPCs. The way the system works is that there are a number of commands that we can trigger, and those are actually triggered in the NPC client after reading the what we call the NPC type, which is basically the type of brain, and so the behavior that this NPC is using, or is associated to, and these commands are then sent to our PS server, and the PS server is using a function called handle command list to parse what is receiving, and then based on that it does a bunch of stuff, and then it creates a perception as a result, and the perception is then sent back to the NPC client. So this is a bit of the life cycle, let's say, of our message. The point is that since these two servers were separate, there were quite a number of iterations between the two. And so there were intermediate classes. They were managing the network connection, right? Like this network manager and a few others. Now, considering we decided to put these two into a single server, which I don't know if in the future we will regret, but anyway, it is the current decision. So considering we decided that, now some of these messages, some of these functions are getting removed and simplified. So the simplification is huge. Also because when we were going through the network, so between one server and the other, we couldn't exchange objects, obviously, or object pointers. We were exchanging IDs, so integer numbers, and then we were searching again the same ID on the other side and recreating our object pointer. So there was a lot of transform my character into an ID, pass the ID over the network, and then on the other side read the ID and recreate the character pointer. So there was a lot of that back and forth, right? And this kind of connection between client and server was NPC client and server was anyway pretty good for scalability, because it means that we could scale in theory the NPC client to manage as many NPC as we want, but it was pretty, let's say, costly from the point of view of all these additional functions and search functions and such, right? So now in the new system, this is I think this is kind of simplified. So but the conversion is not completed. So you will see, if you stay with me today, you will see quite some code for sure. I don't know if we will see a lot of graphical stuff, so but it is something that we have to go through. I did quite a bit of stream, so I did quite a bit of stream. So you are now in a position which is, let's say, definitely better. So the main file, as you see now, is our PS AI controller. So I did a lot of work on this one, mainly by converting some of the functions, right? Quite a number of functions. So, but it's still, as you see, still mostly red. The other one that I did, which I also had a lot of work on, is NPC Manager, and this one I would say is kind of 90% done. I think we are very, very close to complete this one, NPC Manager. But just to go back to the picture, here you see NPC Manager, NPC Operations, and PS AI Controller. These are the three that we have to complete before seeing something happening in game, right? There is not a specific sequence. We can just run through them as we want, right? Exactly as we want. So there was this concept of tick, which At the moment, I'm not fully sure we will keep, right? I still have to think about it because the tick was basically another queue processor or another, yeah, let's call it a queue producer and consumer. So inside this tick, we were basically checking the queue, all the events, and then we were executing, let's say, a specific event, a specific time, so which is done by this guy, this scope timer. But I don't think we really want to use this. I think we want to use our event manager, which we already ported and is already able to push events, execute events at a specific time, right? So I think we will remove this. Yes, I think we will remove this. But for now, let's leave this tick as it is. I don't care too much. Let's see what are the other issues of this file. So one of the issues I see is that we still have some code related to lean move. Lean move was the old way of managing our character movement, which today we don't need anymore because Unreal Engine is managing all of that. So I think this lean move we can definitely remove. It doesn't exist anymore. Our NPC client, let me just check what he's trying to do. What this guy is trying to do. He's trying to calculate the distance between one position and the last position, just to understand how much the character moved. Also, this thing we don't really need. Let me just check what he's doing. He's printing out something. Okay. Check if there is any changing rotation, which I guess means rotation, or velocity. Disable different visual effects of the at once. Yeah, so it's checking this. Yeah, all of this we don't need. All of this is done automatically by Unreal for us. So this is the actual movement. This was the code that was allowing us to move clients, characters on screen. So I think all of this, I would say all of this can absolutely go away. We don't need any of that. I would say, I don't know if I want to comment it out or just remove it, but probably I would just remove it because I think that this is really not needed anymore in any way, in any shape or form. So we can remove it. Now, the tick for now, let's leave it. Maybe we can comment out this one saying, you fix me. Do we still need a tick function, right? Because I don't know yet, but I assume no. Personally, I assume it's not needed, but let's see. It is the callback from the timer, right? That is just to print out the result and to dump some variables. So let me say also this one is completely unneeded. I mean, at the moment we don't care about that. We can just remove it. I would say let me just remove it for simplicity, then we can put it back. Okay, then what we have? We have an info function. The one seems to be okay already. There are no errors. Wow. Then here we have some issues. Why? Seems that it doesn't like something here. Printf, we have our no wait, this parenthesis is wrong, right? Printf of this, and then we close the append. So I think I messed up some of the parentheses here. Right, I think so. I messed up some. I'm a bit confused by this, but obviously printf needs its format, and this parameter, right? So I don't know why I have this one here, which makes no sense. So yeah, I messed up some of the parentheses here. Actually, I messed up all of the parentheses. So I did it by automatic substitution, right? So that's probably the reason why. I did some automatic substitutions and I messed up the sequence of this. Also, I couldn't actually compile, so I didn't see this error before, right? So all of those, I would say all of those have to be fixed. All of these are not correct. These are just printout, I guess, for a kind of a dump, you know, kind of a debug function to ensure that we print out all the variables and everything. So it's not really needed, but let's say we may need it. So let me see what it's complaining about. I think it needs text. That was the okay. So I think unfortunately I missed. I did it not in the right way. Yeah, we miss text everywhere there. Yeah. Okay. We miss actually that parenthesis was correct, but we were missing this piece in all the printfs. Crap. That is not good. But anyway, we are gonna fix it quickly. So this, and this. So we were actually missing text. Why it needs text? Well, because it needs to convert. I missed one, by the way. It needs to convert it to a tchar pointer for whatever freaking reason, and so we need it. Okay, now it should be better. The only thing we should ensure is that it's not complaining about the parameters, but I think it should be okay. So this one is an F string, this one is an angle, so no problem. This one active locate, it doesn't like it. This active locate is a locate thingy, and this locate thingy is declare. Let me just check what is declare because we have to import the header file. Wow. Locate is inside. Well, it's actually inside my PSAI controller. So why is complaining about it? Okay. I don't know. I just want to resolve first the biggest errors, and then we will go with the the fine tuning, which I guess is okay. So I need another print string here. I need, let's say, no, I need a ulog something, right? This would be just a log text. Yes, we need this. So this one becomes just a simple printout, debug printout, which is fine. And lines, I think is okay. There is an F string, so we have just to do pointer of that. Okay. By the way, guys, how are you? Tell me something. How was your week? Was your week okay? Yeah, this Gatling move we don't need anymore. We can completely remove it. This NPC actor, I don't know exactly what it's pointing to, but event manager. Event manager definitely I think we need, but I think we don't need in our signature because event manager we already have as a global parameter. So is not really needed here. We can just assume that our event manager is, in fact, it's not even used, by the way. Okay. Yeah. Just trying to go with the biggest errors first. NPC type. It doesn't like NPC type for whatever reason. Let me double check that we are having this class. So NPC type is defined inside NPC behave. Okay. So we have to import NPC behave as well. Okay. So this one I think will fix some of the errors at least. And yeah, we need to wait a few seconds. The IntelliSense is waking up. This part should be fine. Okay, there are a lot of errors about f-string. Let me just double check all these f-strings. Yes, because I forgot to add text into this thing. So let me do something quick. Let me do a substitution of this with this, and yeah, all of this will go. All of this are getting substituted. Okay, fine. I think that's done. Now all the parentheses are correct, but we miss, I guess, one parenthesis at the end. Right. So we miss one parenthesis at the end everywhere. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, this piece, but who cares? These are all the methods that allow our NPC to respond to a certain event, and then let's say execute a specific behavior, and after that trigger a perception as needed. So it's a pretty relevant part of our code. So we should definitely take care of it. This one is an array, so this one becomes num, and this one is an array, and so this becomes just square brackets, right? Locate ash. Okay, I think this should be just like this, and then create iterator. Just need to remember our iterator plus, and instead of next, oh wow, we have a next name. What is this? So it's declaring an empty variable, and then it's passing it to next. I don't understand what is the point. What the hell? It's putting the value maybe into one, and I don't have this. I think that is putting the key here and the value there, or something like that. I don't know what this thing is doing. The problem of the old code is that there is a lot of those things. So there is a lot of piece of code which is using very special, you kind of unique functions. It is so confusing. Get the next element, value and key. You see, it's returning the key in the parameter, and is returning the value. I don't know why we did this really, but okay. So there was a function, just to make things more complex, they were associating the key to this and the value to name. So in our world actually is this, and then name equal to iter.value, right? It is what it is, I think. The difference that I have to do this. No? Wait a second. Doesn't like it? Should like it. Locate hash. I think I switched key and value here for some reason. What the hell is this locate hash, by the way? Let me check in the current document. Locate hash. Locate hash. Definition. We must have a definition here somewhere. There it is. So is f string and locate. So there is the key and the value. The key and the value. Now here unfortunately they are mixed up, but I guess it's fine. We can just switch them, right? And get our key and value. Okay, I think it should be fine now. Should be fine now, I think. String utils and all the get data, I think it can go away. So we can do a mass substitution of get data. Who cares? As long as it's the same, yeah, same case and same, yeah, we can just remove it. Now, we solved a lot of errors here. A lot of errors are gone. Let me just do all these two strings, because these two strings, just search for all the two strings and see if I did it properly. Like one here is missing, one is okay, another one is missing, another one is missing, because I converted this function, so I need to use the new namespace, let's say, the new class. So okay. So you see the errors on the right are definitely reduced by much, you know. So we have much less errors than before. So this event manager can go. iResult row should become PS result row everywhere. PS result row everywhere, yes. It was only one. It was only. And did I convert these functions already, by the way? Let me check. So there should be a PS AI Controller load. Because I think that these signatures I already converted. There are multiple loads. So one is result row, tmap, NPC type. So this one is this one. Okay, so we can just copy. This. Then there must be another one. No, there's only one. I think there were two. I don't know why we have two in the header file, but only one here. Ah, it is. I found it. Okay, this other one is like this. There is the signature. Okay, yeah, because I already converted this one, so in the H file, in the header file, right? So I want to keep the same here as well. Okay. Now let's see what other errors we have left. Which errors are left? Because I think we should be close at least to have, well, not close, but should be okay for this one. Should not be too many other errors. There are still a number of append format. Let's finish all those ones because these ones are very annoying, and I think we need to. So this has to be changed with this. I think we can do it everywhere. Yeah, let's do it everywhere. Who cares? 25. Boom. Ouch. I have one parenthesis too much. So I control Z and do it like this. Okay. Boom. 25. Okay, this is fine. Now we need to just close here, and close two parentheses there. So all these ones have to be fixed manually, unfortunately. All this one. There is a lot of debug because I think that the guy that developed it, which by the way was the guy that was speaking with me the other day, but is really did a lot of work to ensure that this part of the code was solid, and so he added really millions of debug functions just to be sure, you know. Sorry, I'm messing up here. The thing is finishing here. Yes. No. The thing is finishing here, and this is finishing here. Okay. I don't know what it means is valid. I think we can say if num greater than 0. I think, right? Is this controlled actor? What is controlled actor? Is an array of character. Now we just need to say like this. Okay. Here we have a get name. This get name for sure is a string. Yeah, there will be a wall pass of fixing all the f strings. I think it would be a yeah, because in all of that, like for example, memory buffer name, right, is an f string. This one is an f string. This one is an f string. So all those ones have to be escaped. This name, I have this name is an f string, and so on. So we have quite a number. Whenever we have name, it should be escaped. Pointer to incomplete class. Why is complaining about locate? We said that we had to import what for locate? NPC behave. Oh, locate is actually here. Locate is defined here. So I don't understand the point too much. It's inside PSAI controller. No, we will see it later, okay? We'll see it later. Sometimes IntelliSense get confused by previous errors and gives you errors where there are no errors. So, you know, like now is not answering anymore. Okay. Let's just finish. Let's just finish. Let's just check all these other errors. Not too many here. We definitely need to remove these printouts here, this CF printout. I think we should remove them all because this is the old way of doing things and we don't need it. So all these ones can go and be substituted with this. I don't know, we had many different ways to print out information, and sometimes we were printing to console, sometimes we were printing to something else, and it's actually a bit confusing. But let's search all this CF, what was it? C printf. Yes, this thing. Let's change them all. Let's change them all. We don't need this. Anyway, something to do. So okay, this is okay. Next one. Some are logs, some are errors. So for the one that are notify, we move it to log. For the one like this one, which is an error, we move it to we say here error, right? Because we want them to be more higher severity when it is getting printed out. Okay, so this must be a string for sure. This name we said that is a string. So this is fine. Then no more. Okay, I've seen there were still a number of error something, right? Error 2, like these ones. Error 2. So also this one should be changed, with the difference that here we will have error. Actually, we should use our log NPC AI. What is it? Log NPC AI. Yes, this should be the one that we use. This guy, right? Yes. Name is an F string, so we just hello. Okay. We just do it this way. Okay, fine. Type is an F string, so it's len. Still giving the error, but in reality the error is gone. So this is also an error, so we should convert it. Name. It is an error 4, so we should convert it as well. I know this type, because this type is an F string anyway, so. Okay. So this is fine. There is another one here, and so on. This one instead is a debug. I don't know for whatever reason, but anyway, we move it as log. Oh fuck, I missed one comma. Yes, I did. Wasn't paying attention to this. I've substituted a few without a comma. I think that's all. By the way, yeah. Okay, so this one is okay. This one is okay. This one is okay as well. Okay, there's another one. Was this a log or no, it was an error? So okay. Is a const char, so it should be fine. Error 2. Oops. Function name. There is an F string. Yes. Sorry, was this a log or an error? Was an error, right? Okay, everything is an error. I don't know why cut function. Why is printing this? Because it's not finding it? Okay. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, I see above there are some of the typical ones that we want to fix. This one is an F string, this one is string array. Just trying to do all the ones that are similar at the same time. Get name. string array, all this to be escaped. And I think that's it. Okay, for the errors list, I think we are fine. Let me just search if there is any notify. No, there is no notify. And debug. Well, there are many, but not of the type that we need to convert. Okay, fine. I think this one is fine. Okay, we squashed quite a number of other errors, which is nice. This becomes t iterator and create as usual. This append seems to be missing at least one parenthesis, if not two. Yes, it's missing two. This iterator is as usual like this. Yes, value and key. So buffer name. Now this is tricky because I may swap them. So we said that the key was here. So buffer name should be the key. So I would go this dot key, and this one would be this dot value, right? Okay. So I don't want to swap those two. Okay. Okay, let's try to compile it just to see where we are. They're missing some parentheses. Yeah, we're missing one parenthesis here, at least. At least one. Movable we don't have anymore, so movable is definitely not needed anymore. All of this is not needed, this is not needed. I think also this part like set location is not needed. I will leave it. I mean, as long as it compiles, I can leave it for now, but all of that will not be used this way. This one is an f string as well, so he's complaining about the f string or about what? APS character has no member get EID. Yes, I think he's right. In our case, it's called get PID. Right? Okay. I think this is a problem nearly everywhere. Add hate, yeah, I understand. So yeah, I mean it's a bit long to explain, but basically in the old system there was an entity number and a player number. Right? The entity number was the one that was kept by the NPC client, and the player number or ID number, unique ID number, was kept by the server, and they were kind of different things. Is there a get UID? No, UID doesn't exist, so it's only PID. But now the problem is that all these functions are assuming not a PID but an EID, right? So we have to change all these functions, unfortunately. There's no way. So all the ones dealing with, I think we can do a mass substitution. Everything that is EID doesn't exist anymore for us, right? Doesn't exist anymore. Let me try to do a massive substitution and see what may happen. So EID should become PID. Let me see how many there are in the current document. So this one is fine, this one is fine, this one is fine. Yeah, everything is, I mean, there are so many functions, but it's okay. We can change all of that, and we can do the same substitution here. 10 occurrences. Okay, and in many cases, functions like get EID, like this one, I think we can just remove. Is not meaningful anymore. I think, yes, it's not meaningful anymore, because if you want to have the ID, we just get the PID of the pawn associated to that particular brain, right? To the particular artificial intelligence brain. So I think this function is not meaningful anymore for us. I will remove it. I will remove it, boys. I think I'm a bit tired today, so I will not go super late, but let's see. Let's see. Okay, so it's compiling. Yes, there is all these errors which are just the check. So I would say all of this have to be changed into is empty. Come on. Why doesn't like it? IntelliSense is still thinking about it. That's the problem. Yeah, but is empty should be there anyway. Is empty. Okay, so everywhere we have this kind of error, we should do if not is empty, if not is empty, if not is empty, and etc. Right? All these ones. Okay, we fixed a few. Actually, this is another file. It's not our NPC PSAI controller, but still needed. Yes, this get ID. I think we will just remove it too. We just change, or we keep it for compatibility, but I don't want to keep this file too polluted, you know. And so I will probably, there are not too many errors anyway in this file. If you look at it, it's not too many. It's not too many. Like this part is completely free of errors until here. Yeah, and then there are all the commands that we have to change. All these commands we will, but before doing that, let's finish our PSAI controller. I think is the most relevant to do. What is this set debugging? Set debugging is basically if we are debugging a specific NPC. Set debugging debug. Okay, this was inside remote debug. Well, yeah, we can keep that. I mean, it's not a problem. We can keep it and we can declare it here. Let me see if I have a get debugging already anywhere. No, I don't. Okay. So maybe we can copy the whole thing. We can copy the set debugging and get debugging and just put them here at the bottom. Inside, still inside our class, but just saying that these two are coming from another class. This should be still the hate class, the hate list, no? What's this? Come on. Okay, AI Controller. It doesn't like it for some reason. There is something that it doesn't like, but this is our class for sure. It is the tribe part, tribe memory. Just trying to understand where I have to put this piece of code, but I think here should be fine. Just after the tribe, I think we can do it after the tribes. We will have to expand the tribe code anyway. So set debugging and get debugging, right? So this is what we added, which are just two utility functions, very simple. They don't do much. They just set the debugging level and get debugging, set debugging. For what I care at the moment, we could even leave them empty. It's not really important for us to. This debugging part is not really relevant at the moment for us. Let me put just the you fix me in. Check it. Right. This one I don't think I don't even know if we need it. And this local debug level, I think we need to declare it because I don't think it's actually declared anywhere. So yeah, can declare it here. Okay, so this part seems to be okay. Now I want to see there is still some parentheses which is not, yeah, like this one probably. Yes. Okay. All the log temp, I don't think we need log temp. I think we can replace everything in this file from log temp to log NPC AI or whatever is the name. Let me just double check it. I don't put it wrong everywhere, but there should be an NPC AI. Why I cannot find it? Okay. I just take it from. Let's just take it from PS Unreal, which is the source of all the log files, and we'll be fine. This one, log NPC AI, exactly. So like this. Okay, it was already correct. This file we can change them all. Okay, only 4. Okay, I was hoping for more. So yeah, we still have a lot of errors, but it's getting better and better. Gem NPC object. So this one we need to check in our classes. No, not in this one, but in this one. Yeah. Gem NPC object is converted as an A actor, a generic A actor. Now, will it really work also here? Is a good question. Finder by entities. Get NPC. I think all of this we can do different. This is basically getting the nearest visible friend. Friend being, I guess, someone that is in your friends list. But I mean, I think we can do this with Unreal Code. Yeah, let's just comment out this function. I don't think there is a need at the moment to do it. We will convert it when we will start to have, so convert to code. I don't want to do it now. It's too much to do it now, so it's fine. Just return null for now, and that's it. Get nearest dead actor. I would say it's the same. All these get nearest, we will use different code, definitely different code to do. So let's just comment out this one as well. We don't care. We really don't care. Yeah, there are a lot of split. There's still some CS string array. CS string array. We have to convert because they don't exist in Unreal, but are just t-array of strings. So I need to do this. Then I need to take this one and do parse into array of my list, and then I need to do text of this, right? It is how you do it. Then list becomes get size none. And you have to do the same here. That's exactly the same. I don't even know exactly what these functions are doing. I think they are just debug functions that we use for like this remote debug report, I mean all of that. So. Okay, so I was thinking if we should change this gem object everywhere. Get target. Actually, we said that the get target, we use the standard get target object or get selected object. I don't remember if it's get selected object or get target object, but for us it's the same. So is the character that the player has clicked, or is the character that the NPC has targeted during combat. So I think this function is not needed anymore. And the same for set target. Because we can use get target object in APS character, right? Yes, absolutely. I think these two functions, I would comment them out, but I think they are not needed anymore. You fix me. We will use get target object instead, which is on APS character, right? APS character get target object. I think this one may go and the other one may go as well. There is a get target object and set target object. So, which is good because we are removing code, so we are simplifying the structure, which is nice. Yeah, and also all these ones. Get mana, get max mana, get mana rate, get C rate. The only problem I have in removing this is that I have the feeling that if I remove this, all these ones are actually scripted. It's all stuff that I can script. So if I remove the function, the scripts will not work anymore. So I think that the best way we can do this is to just get the pawn associated to this AI controller. So I think it's something like get pawn simply. Should be get pawn, no? Or get controlled. I don't remember how it is. If IntelliSense could wake up, it would be nice. I think it's get pawn or get controlled, something like that. Okay, get pawn. Yes, get pawn is okay. So get pawn will actually return, and so here I think we should have get max mana, right? Do we have it? Do we have a get max mana on our character? No. Okay. Yeah, we don't have it because this is not an APS character. That's right. So we should cast it to APS character. That's the problem. So we need to do cast APS character. Maybe I can just assign it to something else. But let me see. Now we have our get max mana. Yeah, get max mana is here now. So this is how we should do it, I think. This is how we should do it. The only problem is that if this is null, this will automatically crash, you know, and it's not something that we want. So I think we need to, unfortunately, we need to do something like, or we can put it in one line if we use the operator, you know, so we do if this exists, then take from, but no, I don't like it. Let me do it the other way. So let's do a normal APS character char equal to this, and then we say if I don't know, let's call it phone, and then we can say at this point, yes, we can, maybe here we can use the ternary operator, right? So if the pawn is not there, anyway, it will never happen, I think, because if we have a brain, we have a pawn. But anyway, if he's there, we do pawn get mana. If not, we do 0/0. But I think this will never happen, actually. Vital, buffable, and freaking okay. Current, I think I need. Yeah, I think it should be fine. Why still complain? I think it didn't compile it because it should not complain. Vital, buffable, and double. Okay, yeah, it was still the old there. It took like 20 seconds for him to realize that it was okay. So I think all these functions, unfortunately, we have to change this way. So we have to get the pawn, and from the pawn, just retrieve the information. Which, I don't know if I'm fully happy about it, but I'm thinking if there is an easier way, but I don't think so. I think all these functions have to be changed the same way. Why this one is not giving an error, by the way? Because we actually have NPC actor. NPC actor. Wait a second. It seems that we already have NPC actor set. NPC actor seems to be right the actor, the actual. Maybe we already have this. Because we already have the yeah, I think we do. I think we do. It's already an APS character. I think it's fine. I think I don't need that. I don't need the thing that they just did. I don't think I need it because let me go back. I think he was just complaining about the vital compared to not being a vital, but let me check what he's complaining about. But NPC actor is already valid, is already set. The only difference is that this is returning maybe a vital object instead of a... So here I think I should just do dot current and should be fine. Also here, I think all this, now I don't know because IntelliSense is sleeping, but I think all of that should just be dot current on all of those, which basically takes the float value, the current float value, including buffs, you know. I think it should be like this. I'm just not sure if all this information is existing. If all these functions are existing on our APS character, that's the only question. Yeah. But come on, IntelliSense. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. Non-stable conversion between... You see, it went away now. So I think he likes it like this. Yeah, I think he likes the dot current. Is exactly what he needs. The only problem is that physical stamina and mental stamina, I think they don't exist as variables. For some reason they are called different. For some reason they are called different. We have get, yeah, the names are slightly different. Get physical stamina is called get P stamina. Yeah, I don't know why we did this thing, but and then you have to pass in the boolean if it's physical or not. So if I do true, then it's returning that value. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. And then here this will be false, and we return what we need. And then whatever. It is the max. So the max, I think we have it in another function. It is the max physical stamina. Max physical stamina is this one, which is a vital buffable for whatever reason. So we should return current of this one. And then we have a max mental stamina, which is this one, and also this one should be current. And then we have the two rates, stamina rate. So stamina rate, one is the physical stamina rate, which is this function. And unfortunately the functions are all called like different between NPC client and... So this one I assume is M stamina rate, and we have a current as well. Okay, so we converted all of that. They were just slightly different names, but overall I think it's pretty much fine, right? And I want to keep those because I think that these ones are scripted. I don't want to delete those. This one is equal to 0. We do this. Update controlled. Queue the new control position to the server. I have no idea what is it doing. I have no idea what this is doing. but we can keep it. We can keep it. Controlled is valid, so in this case we are extracting what? We are extracting an APS character. So I think it's just like this. Now the lean move, I will remove it because we said that we are not working on that anymore. And so now this piece is working okay. Check position. This check position is completely wrong, so we can't remove it completely. For us, it will be yeah, it's all about gravity, NPC movement, bed starting location. I mean, all of this doesn't exist anymore in our world, so it's all managed by Unreal Engine. So we don't need all this code. I think we can completely remove it. Yeah, I think this code we really don't need. I'm keeping it commented out just for a few days maybe. So while I finish this file, and then we can start to remove it for real. You know, to actually go through this and completely remove it. Yeah, this one should be an F string. This one should be an F string, and what is an NPC buffer? Just quickly checking the other errors to understand a bit of the errors that we have. Why we still have this NPC? I think I changed it. NPC should not exist anymore. NPC is our API, whatever. This thing. This thing. So it's our brain. Our brain should not. Maybe I just missed one. No, there's more than one. Like this one. This one should be changed. I think maybe I missed a few when I did the substitution. The mass substitution, like this one is missing as well. This one is missing. Getting strong. Okay, we did it for all. I think here we should not have any NPC, which is not a comment. Okay, there is no one left, so I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I was just checking something else. Okay, so Intelligent still thinking. It's impossible. We have so little errors. I think it didn't catch them all yet. I will be very happy if there are so little, but I don't think there are so little. Why doesn't like this? ToString, what is the difference? It's not const? Maybe it's not const. Okay, that's probably why. Every time you do a change, IntelliSense is like going back to the basics. Let's do something that is a bit more fun. I mean, not really fun, but is at least different. So there are a number of functions which are the ones that are calling the new function that we created. So like this one. So everywhere we see NPC manager get network manager, actually we can substitute it with the real one that we converted now, and is like an handle a keep command or something like that. So I think it should be like this one should be handle a keep command. I think that all of them should be something like this. Handle, no, so this is the opposite. Handle command the keep. Okay, unfortunately they are the opposite way, which is not very nice. All this one should be is empty, like we have seen already. So this one should be easy to convert. If not is empty. If not is empty. Okay. Then there is another one, right? There is get network man. So this one doesn't exist anymore, and should be a handle command visibility. You see, we have them all now. We have all those functions properly ported, which is pretty cool. It's been quite some work, I have to say, but these are all ported now. Here I just missed this substitution. Okay. Get random asset. Yeah, we have some function in tribes that I didn't port yet, because one thing that we didn't do, we didn't port tribes. I try to stay away from tribes because I don't want to port everything at the same time. And I mean, it's already so many classes like this, so many, and I don't want to port more than this. Get random asset and get nearest asset, and okay, let's just copy them all because maybe I will need them all. For now, tribes are inside gem.h, and is a dummy class, empty, without any implementation. It's just to keep the code compiling, and then we will do it proper one day, but not now. So I just adding all these functions as empty. They just return null because we don't care about that. And yeah, for now this is how we do it. Okay, so now all these errors will go away. Get home position, get home sector. Wow, there are so many of these functions. I think I'm copying the whole tribes thing, unfortunately. Where I can, I just return null, so we don't don't bother about it, but where I cannot, I have to do something slightly smarter, but just like okay. Get on sector, we ported it. What is the problem with this split object? It doesn't like. Find entity by name. This one I will leave it for later. I don't want to mess with that. Oops. Something bad happened here. Something got cut off. Why? NPC client get engine. Okay, yeah. Get engine for sure we don't need anymore. Get random position. I don't know exactly what is this, but are we spawning? No, we're searching a random location inside an area. I think this will have to be done differently. Find random memory. Really? What is find random memory? We have so many weird functioning tribes. Some of them I was not even aware they exist, like this one. Find random memory. So we are trying to make the NPC look smart somehow, and so we decide to search random stuff that he was thinking before and just execute it probably. Could be. And also find nearest memory. Find nearest memory. Also this one I have no idea what it does. We'll find out soon though, because when we are executing this code, I mean, well, tribes will be a bit later, but many of these functions we will have to debug one by one. One by one, my friends. One by one. Okay. I mean, I did import the tribe implementation, but I think I ported most of the methods at this point that were inside tribes. So. Queue visibility. There's so many queue visibility. Queue visibility commands. Handle command visibility. This thing is still having the old name. Anyway, this should be handle something. Handle command emote, right? You can do all of those, by the way. So handle, this will be handle command drop or Q drop. Handle command, is there a Q drop? No, there should be handle command drop. Yeah, handle command drop. Then what else? There is a D keep. Handle command D keep. Okay. Then qcast command. This one will become handle command cast. Okay. And maybe the parameters are not exactly correct, so we will have to see this. But for now, let's just go through the list. This one will be handle busy command busy. There it is. Then I think that's it. I don't see others. Oops, I forgot some CS strings here and some See, I could see as vectors. Okay. Maybe I should be fine. We try to compile. Let me try. Anyway, boys, we are still going through this. So I don't know if you're really interested in going through this part of the code. I think it's pretty boring. So I think I can do it off stream. But I just wanted to stream today to give you a sense of where we are, you know. So if someone is checking the recording and just to understand where we are and what we are doing, I think was good. Since it was a few days I was not streaming, I just wanted to give you an update. But I can definitely do this off stream. I think that is not very interesting for you. You know, yeah, it's not you know something that is easy to watch. Even okay, maybe it's just to see what I'm doing, but it's not, let's say, super important that you see it. So I can probably do this offline. Okay, any of you watching really wants to do it to see this? I mean, any of you, if even just one of you says yes, I would like to stay, I would like to see what you're doing, I'm staying on stream, you know. But if none of you says that, or if you if not, I mean, if it's okay for you that I do it off stream, I will do it off stream. Q attack command. I think this one we can mass substitute actually. This would be handle command attack. Let me see if I can. Maybe there are multiple of these ones. Q attack command, handle command attack. Let me just substitute. Yeah. There's only one. Okay. Fine. Yeah, so any of you is really passionate about looking at what I'm doing or not? Because I can do it off stream. Advanced melee operation. Get demonstrated. This one also we have to port some crap. Because it's basically just, let's say, super standard code conversion that we did already many times, so it's nothing new really for you. It's nothing really new. This NPC should become APS AI Controller, yes, and this Gem NPC. Hello, Hammy. Yeah, I was traveling, and so I couldn't stream for a few days, unfortunately. So, but I did some progress during the evenings. I didn't have a lot of time during the evenings because I also had to do other stuff. But let's say, I managed to do some of the work, and I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I'm going through the conversion of the NPC pieces, so which is quite of a thing. Let me just check gem actor. Gem NPC actor is an APS character at the end. Is an APS character. So I was just asking if there was anyone interested in looking at this, or if I should do it offline. You know, if I should do it off stream. Because anyway, I'm doing pretty boring stuff at the moment. So I'm doing like, you know, like what we said the other day, doing some monkey work. In this case, I'm doing it online, but yeah, in this case, I'm doing it online, but yeah, it's not, you know, it's not something very exciting. So I was just asking if there was anyone interested in watching. If there is at least one interested in watching, like you, for this part, I can do it. I can stay on stream. It's no problem for me. It makes no difference. You know, it makes zero difference to me. But maybe it doesn't have a lot of sense. I mean, it's just me switching through C++ files, doing substitutions. Network manager, we said we kill it, right? Network manager, we kill it. This thing doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, just that. I'm trying to, so just to summarize a bit for you, Amy, that you just joined, I'm going through basically these classes. So tribe and recipe will be done later, as I said the other day. So these two ones, let's say, are kind of in parentheses at the moment. I don't know if I can do a parenthesis in a decent way with the mouse, but bloop, bloop, yeah, I think it's great. So these one are like on hold at the moment because I want to do tribes later on. Of the other ones, I think that perception, behave, reaction, waypoint, path, and all of those are fine. So are like 99% done. I think what I'm missing are the one in red color, and in particular at the moment I'm working on the PS AI Controller, this one at the bottom here, which is the one that was formerly called NPC and was called NPC Client. So I'm merging few classes all into this class, which is basically representing the main brain of the NPC, right? Yes, and this one is the one that is giving me some trouble, not in terms of complexity, but more in terms of quantity, you know. So there is a lot of stuff that there is a lot of code. I mean, these classes are huge, so it's not a short conversion, you know. It's a pretty long one. Let me search all the get sites. The get sites are easy to do. I like the get sites. Debug log, I have no idea what is it. Debug log, we don't even have it. Near list is an array, so this we can substitute. All of this we can substitute. List is an array. Okay, good. Gem and a PCOC. Yeah, there are a few parts related to the hate list, which is not fully clear to me. But you still didn't answer, Hammy. I mean, if you are interested in watching this, or if I should do it off stream. Heated entry list and bid. Okay. This one becomes a T map, and I should swap the elements, right? And I should swap the elements. Yes. So bid becomes our You want to see also the boring stuff? Yeah, that is a pretty boring part. Well, it's not boring, but let's say there is not a lot of visuals, you know, so it's not much stuff you can really visualize. But yeah, if you want to follow the progress, I can stay on. I think I can stay on. It's not an issue. Stay on. This delete all is not very nice. remove. Get that is the find ref. Entity ID. Doesn't like this. Why doesn't like it? Because this one I had to change to be no. I had to change to be an integer, right? Yes, and this one is not an integer. Can I do PID unbox? Yes, I can do unbox, huh? As usual. So the unbox is giving me an integer. Okay. Why is not? Yeah, because the same issue. Is an int. This is find ref. The good part is that I did this conversion so many times now, and so many, in so many parts of the code that at this point I'm doing it nearly automatically. I mean, I'm not even thinking about it too much. I'm just executing like a monkey. I'm just executing like a monkey, which is good because it's quicker. It's like quicker than, but it still takes quite a bit. So if you see, I don't know if you're watching closely, but if you watch closely, I'm basically doing the same thing over and over. I mean, there are like, I don't know, 15 or 20 or whatever patterns that I continuously use because the code that we are converting is pretty much the same. So it's pretty much the same. Here's a bit of a tricky part because what is the issue here is that what are we doing here? We're just dumping to debug log some hate list, the hate list, the list that you hate. Basically these are all the NPCs that all the players that this NPC is hating or whatever it is. So it doesn't like them, and because they attacked him or things like that. So what he's trying to do here is to just iterate through the full hate list, extract. I don't know why it's NPC gem object actually, because also don't know exactly why we want to keep, because here we are a bit in a old-fashioned way, so we are still keeping IDs instead of pointer to the characters themselves, which is pretty bad. It's actually pretty bad, because instead of doing this find entity ID, we could just keep our entity as the value of this tmap or whatever it is, this little this thing. Instead of being a PID, just put the actual entity in, put the actual APS character, right? So why we need to do this, I have no idea. Why we need to have an ID instead of the actual PS character? Because we are storing it somewhere to the database later on? Maybe we do. Are we saving the hate list anywhere? Yeah, that could be the only reason, right? That we want to save. But the problem I have is that all this search, search and retrieve and stuff is pretty costly. I mean, why we have to do a find when we can have directly so for example, this is where it's coming from, right? It's creating a new entry where it's hating someone, right? Is in the aggro list. So let me check this add 8 where it's coming from. You see how stupid it is? We are getting the ID and then we are converting the ID back to the attacker and then we are doing it again. I think I'm going to change this. I mean, this is so bad. Makes no sense. Are we sorting? Maybe because we then are sorting this thing by ID, but no, makes no sense. I mean, the ID has no meaning. It's just a number. So I think that what we should do, we should remove this get PID. It would be nice to have one of the guys. Let me see if I can contact one of the guys that designed this. If he's online. Seems he's not. Let me try to send him a message. I have a question about hate list in our NPC client. I see there are functions which are using PIDs or EIDs to keep the list of players or say of characters hated. Why we are not just keeping the character pointer, which in the old name was the gem actor reference instead of the PID? Yeah, that's the question. I'm typing in another window, but the question is why we are keeping these IDs. It's probably because then we have to send back to the other server, you know, in our schema here, we have then to send back to the server the IDs, but I don't think so. I have no idea. I'm gonna change it now. Who cares? So the best thing is that when you add hate, you add it directly on the character, not on his PID, not on his PID. So now obviously add 8 will not like me because we say the parameters are different, but we don't care. Instead of PID entity, we just do APS character pointer entity, right? Which is much better. And this means that our hate list becomes instead of being yeah, this will change a bit the code, but who cares? Who cares really? I think it's a better design, at least for where we are now. I think it's better. So our 8 list. Wait a second though. I think you know what is the problem? We cannot T-map an APS character. That's why we do it. I cannot put here APS character pointer. Why I cannot? Because you see that it's becoming red immediately. The reason is that the T-map must be indexed by some native type, and integer is fine, but APS character obviously is not. So this is why we are keeping it like this. Okay, well, not that I love it, but so that's why we do it. Probably that's why we do it. It's the only reason why we do it. But it's pretty annoying though, because it means that we need, you know, to every time to do this find ID and get ID, find ID, get ID, and we do it a million times, and I don't know why we are doing this. I mean, we can find another structure, we can have an array or something, you know, so that can keep APS character. Let me just understand how this 8 list is working, because I'm not sure I fully understand. So this object represents the entities which have a attacked or are the NPC and prioritize them. This prioritize them is kind of interesting. So he's keeping an int, and then he's keeping an hate list entry. Okay, hate list entry. I lay hate list entry. What hell is this? Hate list entry. Hello, soup. Hate list entry. Come on, give me this thing. Hate list entry is a struct which has an entity ID and a hate amount. Okay, so at least this one we should keep the APS character, no? I mean, why I need to? Maybe not this one, which is a T-map, but this one, why I need to do this thing? So going back to add 8, sorry, just a second. Going back to our add 8. Are we adding 8 on what? Add 8, big definition. Are we creating an entry with the attacker ID? Come on, IntelliSense, please. Add 8, entity ID. Because the first thing that it does is searches that this ID is not already there, like it's not hitting twice, and it's not putting twice the same player. And so doing this by ID is maybe a bit quicker. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know really. Hate amount delta. I mean, to me, we can, because the find ref works also for character pointers, so is exactly the same. So when we change this to find ref, if we have here an APS character, I think it will work. The only thing that doesn't work is the T-map with APS character. But if I want to do this hate list entry with APS character, I think it's totally fine. It's totally fine. So let's try to do this and see what happens. Okay, so let's not do it on the T-map. But if we do it on this, which is our hate list entry, which is our hate list entry, and instead of PID, we just do APS character, because anyway we can hate only characters, right? We cannot hate objects, we cannot hate an axe on the ground, so it must be an APS character. That makes sense. Let me check wherever this thing is used. It's used here, and this is fine. It's used here, and it's fine. Let me check where it's used here. So here then we will have this, which becomes APS character star, and this becomes entity, and this becomes entity. The difference is that this one becomes find ref, and yeah, should be fine. Now let's see the complexity here. List finder by entity. So this is returning list of objects with EID. Yes. This gem NPC object, I don't understand it too much. I mean, why we are using gem NPC object, which is at this level, which means it can be an actor, I mean a character or an item, right? So I don't think he has any sense. I think it should be directly at this level. I don't know why we abstracted so much. Maybe This code was not making a lot of difference, but in my case it does. So I think this one should be APS character, which is better. And find nearby entities. Find nearby entities. I think this one we have to redefine, because find nearby entities, I think we said that we moved it. I think I converted it already somewhere else. NPC manager is to be redone with EU. Yes, exactly. Is this one, find nearby entities. Now the problem with this function is very heavy. This function is very heavy because what it's doing is scanning all the actors in the world. So if we have 1,000 NPCs, it's scanning all the freaking 1,000 NPCs in the world. You know. They have 31,000 NPCs. 31,000 is the right number. 21K. Are you sure that's the number? Because, well, first of all, depends which kind of NPCs they have. So which kind of brain they have, you know. So if they're just running, meaning moving between waypoints, or if they are searching for a path, or if they are intelligent or stupid, whatever, it would make a big difference. But what I tested with about, let's say, I think it was 500. I have to go back and check the stream maybe, but I think it was like 500 we created. And after that number, the FPS on my screen were going pretty low. Like I had like 20 FPS instead of 60, and it was really starting to be a problem moving, you know. But it's a very interesting comparison. So it's a very interesting comparison. But I mean, 31,000 is a lot. In plane shift old, we have 1,500 roughly. We have roughly 1,500 NPCs moving on the map. 31,000 is one order of magnitude greater than that, which is very interesting, depending on which service they are using. But my issue is that when we do this find nearby entities, we are hitting every NPC, and it is very, very, very costly. So I think that for now we can use this, but as soon as we move forward, we will have to use the proximity triggers, I think. Hoping that the proximity trigger is not doing exactly the same, right? Maybe it is. Maybe it's doing exactly the same. Because this will consume a lot of CPU, you know. This will be that every few milliseconds, I mean, we have to decide how often we run it, but we can even run it every second, right? But basically every second, every NPC on the map, which potentially is thousands, will search for the nearest player that they hate the most and they want to attack because they have been attacked by the player, right? So this means that, I mean, that's a lot of CPU. If you think about it, it's really a lot. I don't know how much this cycle takes actually. Maybe this cycle is very optimized because we are basically iterating on a list of predefined actors, and what we are doing, we are subtracting two vectors, in calculating the size of the vector. I mean, it's not you. I mean, we are not doing any trace beams. We are not doing anything like that. We are just searching. Yeah, we're just doing a loop on a predefined list and subtracting two vectors. The problem is that this is done by every NPC at any time. You know, well, not at any time, because actually, well, but this is triggering perception. So when they see an object on the ground, I mean, it's at any time, right? So it's really at any time. It's really at any time, because he may move and find an item, then he sees the item and he picks it up. So I'm very scared about the CPU usage of this particular function. Really, because maybe a problem, but I don't know. Maybe performances, we can do another time, but we have to be a bit conscious about that. So if we have to change this, I think we can use our find nearby entities that I defined in that other function, which is in game mode. The only problem is, how do I arrive here? How do I arrive here? Because I don't have game mode in my... Well, the easiest way, I think, will be to extract the game mode from the NPC. So if we do NPC get phone, can we do get world directly? Yeah, we can do get world. So if I do get world, I think then I can get my game mode from here. Is this get out game mode, I think? And this thing I can cast to my plane shift, whatever game mode, to this thing, and then at this point I can use this to call this. Now this find nearby entities was slightly different in yeah, there was the instance as well. So the instance, I think we can place 0, and for now it's fine. So now this is returning. What is this returning? A T-array of a actor, because it's actually find nearby entities, in this case we don't need nearby entities. In this case we need nearby actors, or characters, right? I think we need two functions. I think we need two separate functions. Yes, we need to. Why not? Let's put why we were not having two functions in the old code? I have no idea, because here we are then casting it to. But to me, it's vital, to ensure that we have. Actually, I think they should always be split. Should always be items or actors. So at least we cycle on less stuff. Absolutely. It should be find nearby characters and find nearby items. Should never do a find nearby entities. Should never do. I don't know why I'm doing this, but why we were doing it, I mean. So it was not very optimized in that sense. So let me do this. This one we return a T-array, and in this case we just go straight to our APS character. Why not? Because if there are 1 million items on the ground, I don't want to, I don't want to find the distance between all those items and see if they are in my hate list, because it would never be in my hate list. So, right? So I think this is how it should be. Yeah, a lot of stuff will change over time. Yeah, I think so. So I think that the optimization will be another pass. I don't think I need to optimize now, even if I'm tempted, because I'm always a bit, you know, hypersensitive about efficiency. But I think it's fine. So now we have find nearby characters, and we can use here our find nearby characters, which I like much more. So it's cycling only on APS character and searching the distance between my position and their position. So to see if they are in range, and if they are in range, then I don't know exactly what it's doing here, but it's gating from the 8 list. This doesn't exist, so this should be PID, and this should be unbox, and this should be find ref, and should be fine. Yes. Now finally this part is not needed, right? So this find ID, I don't need it anymore because I stored directly the character. So I can do H entity and I get my APS character as a result, right? So I have it already. It's much better, I think. It's much better. Then what I have this, which should be fine. I don't know why it's returning an error. Maybe it's still thinking. Yeah, it's still thinking. Check within bounds. Region. What is region? Region is a location type. Location type already ported. I think I just removed. What is the check within bounds? Yes, it's here. Check within bounds. And it doesn't have, okay, only has position and sector. Yeah, removed engine. Okay, fine. Yeah, I already did some changes, so it's not always straightforward to understand, but NPC, I think should be fine. What doesn't like? Something it doesn't like here. I think this one should be PID. This is what it doesn't like. Yeah. Pointer to incomplete class is not allowed. Incomplete class, you mean location type? No. Figure it out. This one is the same. So here I have my H entity, which is already an APS character, which is perfect. And so I don't have to do any of that. Now the sector is a bit annoying because the sector query object get name. I think I just have a get name, no? No? I sector is no member get name. Let's see. Well, we could temporarily add this. I think we could add a function because at the moment sectors we are not using. So again, I don't want to waste time. Here it is. There is just a I sector name. So yeah, let's do this. I think I like it. I think it's fine. I sector name and fuck it. Yeah, much better. Hello, whoever joined. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. This one have been converted not in the best of the ways because actually I'm missing some parentheses. Is complaining that my entity ID I can do this. It's complaining that my class doesn't have an is invisible or is invincible. I think the reason is that we were doing it differently between the NPC client and let me check, but is visible gem NPC object set visible. I think we have just a get visible, something like that. Get visibility. Please. Why doesn't like OBJ? OBJ is a PS character pointer, boy. So you have to give me the list of functions. So OBJ, I think it should be something like. Why it doesn't do it? Come on. You can. IntelliSense. You can. I know you can. I know. Please. Because you don't like this line because it's too complex. Is what it's saying. You can do it here. Okay, here he likes it for whatever reason. So yes, I think there is get visibility and set visibility. So there is this is invisible. So I can do get visibility, and if it's false, right? So I can do get visibility, and if it's not get visibility, then is invisible. Okay. And invincible, I think it should be something very similar. Come on, why you don't like it there? Is get invincible. Invincible, no? No. Get invincible, we don't have. We don't have invincibility. Invincibility is maybe a flag of some kind. No idea. Invincible is not in this list. Okay, so let's find out how it was done. Set invincible. Let me check who is calling this. Set invincible. Handle actor. Blah 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 blah. Find entity. Message flags. Persist actor invincible. Okay, so it's coming from the flags set on the phone. Fine. We just need to. What is this message? Is a PS persist actor? Let me just search this guy. PS persist actor. Set invincible. Okay, so this one is this side, but now there seems to be a get invincibility. Get invincibility should be there. Maybe I didn't import it yet, but it is something that exists on Gemactor. So in our new world, it should exist on PS character. If it doesn't exist, we are gonna add it. No, it doesn't exist. Okay, we can just add it. It's no problem. We can port it. Maybe I can put it close to get visibility. Let's put it here because it's all stuff that it was, in Gemactor. So we take this, get invincibility and set invincibility. We declare them here, and the get is very simple. It just returns this, and we just have to declare this variable. Maybe I have it already. Do I have this variable already? Invincible. No, I don't. So I need to. Okay. Cannot be attacked, but visibility we had, right? Visibility for sure we had. Is visible to clients. Why don't I have this one? Was original Gemactor. I didn't copy the comment. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I always need to copy the comments. Okay, anyway. So we added this. We added the invincibility stuff. And then we need just to copy also this function. Also this function, which has an implementation. Implementation is pretty simple, but here is the trick: is queuing a perception. Is queuing a perception? Very interesting. Very, very interesting, because this is connecting now to the code that we are porting. So if we go under PS character CPP and we search, why you can include NPC manager, my friend? Because it's under NPC client. NPC client / NPC manager. Do you like it more? Yes, I think he likes it more. So if I go here and I go under APS character and then I search for set visibility. Set visibility. I'm already calling NPC manager queue flag perception. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And here I have to call the same way. Set invincibility, blah 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 blah, and here I do NPC manager queue flag. Now queue flag perception doesn't exist anymore. Now it's called handle. Why doesn't give it to me? I think it's because it's NPC manager. Well, NPC manager for sure is declared, right? Because we put it as a I think it's just that it's getting a bit. Please give me the list. Anyways, is handle something like handle flag perception or something like that. Because we removed the queue, because the queue was a step that was not necessary and was just used to move data between client and server. We don't need that. So if I do perception, flag handle perception flag, this one. Handle perception flag. Right? And it's the same here, handle perception flag. Yes, it's the same thing, boys. Too few arguments, really. Okay. Boys, it's getting a bit late, so I think I will close the stream for now. But I think we did a good 2 hours and a half or whatever. So I will continue tomorrow evening. If nothing goes, I mean, if everything goes well, I think I will be able to stream, but I will consider if it makes sense because there is still a bit of work. I think there is still like few hours, few hours of work that I have to do before we can really put together the pieces. I will also rename the stream of today because it's not yet putting together the pieces. So it's basically still converting some of these classes, but I think it's enough for today. We made good progress. We basically converted most of this PSAI controller, which now has not too many errors left. We need to finish this one. So going back to our plan, we have to finish this one at the bottom, PSAI controller. We need to finish this one, NPC manager, and we need to finish NPC operations, right? We are not too far. I mean, it's few hours of work, I hope. So it's not too far away. So I think that this weekend we can actually put the pieces together. I don't know if it's already tomorrow evening. I don't know, but I think we are not too far away. So with that, I would say see you tomorrow, and I don't know, have fun with the current plancha, I don't know, or have fun with Unreal. See you, boys.